Welcome to the Man of Recaps. This is The Pitt, Season 1. This show takes place in real time over the course of one shift at an emergency room in Pittsburgh. Our main character is Dr. Rabinovich, aka Dr. Robby. His first task this morning is to relieve the night shift Dr. Abbott, who's up on the roof and maybe gonna jump. Yes, this is a stressful job and he had a particularly rough night, but Dr. Robby talks him down and it seems like this might happen most mornings. Yeah, Dr. Robby is a calm, collected guy who handles the stress of this job pretty well. But today is the anniversary of the death of his beloved mentor, Dr. Adams, so whenever he goes into the pediatric room where he died, Dr. Robby has to run to the bathroom for a quick 30-second breakdown. That's a funny thing about this show, by the way. Unlike Jack Bauer from 24, who could go to the bathroom during commercial breaks, there's no commercials on HBO. Our doctors gotta go pee whenever they can. This hospital is way overcrowded and underfunded. Unless you're actively dying, you can expect to wait like 8 hours. And there's a long wait list for beds upstairs, so a lot of patients are just hanging around here, like Earl, who always wants a sandwich, and Myrna, who's always making lewd comments. The hospital administrator, Gloria, is always on Dr. Robby's back to raise patient satisfaction scores. He's like, well, why don't you hire more staff so patients don't have to wait 8 hours? But that is not an option. Today's an exciting day at the Pit, as we've got a new group of student doctors. So Dr. Robby shows them the ropes. Basically, an emergency comes in, and it's a mad rush to diagnose them and save their life. And even the patients that seem stable, things can go bad real quick, and oh, it's a mad scramble again. Another doctor here is Dr. Collins. She and Robby often have the conversation, hey, are you all right? Yeah, I'm all right. Are you all right? These two know each other very well. In fact, they briefly dated back in the day. Right now, Dr. Collins is pregnant, in vitro fertilization, having a baby herself. But it's still early, and she's lost some before, so she's not telling anyone yet. Then there's Dr. Langdon, a handsome, young, cool guy, sarcastic doctor. He just bought his wife a puppy to apologize for working all the time, and he doesn't realize that's just going to make more work for her since she's going to be the one stuck taking care of it. Then there's Dr. McKay, who's real good with troubled patients like this young unhoused mother. Dr. McKay used to be an addict, and she understands that life can be hard. And we learn she has a secret when her ankle monitor goes off by mistake. Yeah, she's under house arrest for something. Dr. Mohan is one of their newest residents who's very good with patient rapport, but she's going way too slow, talking to all our patients so much, Dr. Robby's constantly gotta be on her case. But sometimes going slow saves the day. She took the time to realize this woman's not crazy, she's got a rare disease. The doctors are the superstars, but the nurses are the real MVPs, especially Dana, who's in charge of managing all this chaos. Without her, this place would fall apart. There's a funny duo, Princess and Perla, who like to gossip to each other in Filipino. The nurses are always in the background saving the day, though we don't often get their names. Except the hot nurse Mateo, who the youngest resident, Dr. Javadi, is instantly smitten with. She had a rough start this morning when there was a super gross injury, and unfortunately she fainted. So her mom comes to check on her. Yeah, she's a big-time surgeon here. But that's super embarrassing. She hates her mom babysitting her. She wants to prove she's earned this without nepotism. But her fainting earned her the nickname Crash from the funny, sarcastic Dr. Santos. She's a cocky doctor who's excited to do all the grossest, craziest procedures possible. The surgeon, Dr. Garcia, immediately takes a liking to Santos and is gonna let her cut someone up real good. But Dr. Santos drops the scalpel right on Dr. Garcia's foot. Oh, that's embarrassing. Dr. Santos's vibe is similar to Dr. Langdon's. You'd think these two would become best friends. But her cockiness rubs him the wrong way, and they butt heads from the very start. Weirdly, his favorite student doctor is Dr. King, who's the complete opposite, a smart brainy type who can't even tell when he's being sarcastic. One of her first patients is an old woman who fell, and her daughter who's overwhelmed taking care of her. Dr. King understands she has an autistic sister who she's the primary caretaker for. She gives some advice, you gotta make sure to take time for yourself, but when she goes to move the car, she never comes back, and it looks like maybe she abandoned her mom. Luckily, pretty soon she comes back. She just took a power nap. Our last student is Dr. Whitaker, who's a farm boy from Nebraska, so Dr. Santos calls him Huckleberry. He's thrust into the deep end when he's sent to sedate the crazed meth head they call the Kraken, and oh, he gets peed on. He picks up some fresh scrubs, but over the course of the day, things keep getting on him. He changes scrubs like a dozen times. So there's some funny moments, but there's also tragedy. His very first patient who he befriended dies out of nowhere. Dr. Whitaker tries to save him, doing chest compressions for so long, but this guy is gone. It's no fault of Dr. Whitaker's, he did everything right, but that's the stress of working here. You can't save everyone. And this day keeps getting worse. A college kid comes in from a fentanyl overdose, dead on arrival. Dr. Robby's got to break it to the parents, the hardest part of the job. Another one comes in shortly after. Luckily, she's okay. Turns out they weren't even doing drugs. They were studying and took some Xanax to help them sleep. But any pills you buy illegally could be laced with fentanyl, and just like that, you're dead. Dr. Robby's got a kid about that age, his stepson Jake, from a previous relationship. They were going to go together to the music festival Pitt Fest, but Jake's got a new girlfriend, so he took her instead. There's some pretty big excitement this morning when someone steals an ambulance. It turns into a huge televised car chase, and the hospital staff have a betting pool on who stole it and why. Turns out it was a frat boy prank, so Dr. Collins wins. Another ongoing situation is when an unhoused man had rats in his jacket that escape and run amok. Over the course of the day, they pop up when you least expect them. Eventually, a patient comes in with a dog who corners one one of the rats, and Dr. Whitaker manages to catch it. One of the first big cases is a mom who's throwing up uncontrollably, and they can't tell what's wrong with her. Turns out she made herself sick, so her son would have to bring her here. She found some disturbing writings of his about wanting to hurt girls in his class and didn't know what else to do. So they bring in Kiara, the hospital social worker who deals with situations like this. But this kid, being a moody teen, doesn't want to talk to them, and they can't force him to stay unless his mom signs a thing. It's a tough dilemma, because involving the authorities could mess up this kid's life, or writing down thoughts he would never actually act on. But Dr. McKay's of the opinion, we can't take that chance. What if he does hurt those girls? We have to stop him now. Yeah, the medical stuff is mostly easy. The hardest part of this job is dealing with people. There's a weird case where a woman comes in for a minor problem, but she's with her boss, who answers all her questions for her. Dr. McKay manages to separate them, like, hey girl, are you in trouble? You're being inducted into a cult or human trafficked or something. But this woman says she's fine, so they can't help her if she doesn't ask for it. There's a guy who fell off a ladder. Turns out his wife was secretly giving him estrogen in hopes it would kill his sex drive because she's afraid he's molesting their teenage daughter. But she doesn't want to involve the police, so there's nothing we can do here. Dr. Santos doesn't accept that. It seems like she has history with molesters. So she takes it upon herself to bluff and threaten this guy, hoping to scare him straight. But sometimes there's a happy ending with people they can help, like the Kraken. Turns out it wasn't meth, it was schizophrenia, but he couldn't take his meds because he's broke living on the street. But there's a street team who help people just like him, and Dr. Whitaker volunteers. But now back to tragedy, when a young kid drowns, and someone has to tell her little sister, who's making her a get-well-soon card, if nothing made you cry yet this show, this is the one that got you. Now Dr. McKay's son comes in, but he's fine. It's his dad who broke his leg skateboarding. These two are on bad terms because he is generally a huge douche. And his new girlfriend is even worse. Turns out Dr. McKay's ankle monitor is from an altercation they had, which led to a restraining order. There's another douche in the waiting room, Doug Driscoll, who's been a problem all day long. Finally, Dana tells him off, so he punches her in the face. And it's not the first time a patient's hit her. People assaulting healthcare workers is tragically all too common. But now, after this rough day, Dana's thinking this might be her last shift. It's a rough day for Dr. Collins, too. She has another miscarriage. Dr. Robby consoles her, and he's like, look, this shift is almost over. We got plenty of doctors. Go on home. But there's been an ongoing problem with Drs. Langdon and Santos. Early on, there was a medicine she couldn't open, and Dr. Langdon was weird about it. It was an all-day subplot with other minor discrepancies, and Dr. Santos did some digging, eventually came to Dr. Robby. And yes, indeed, Langdon has been stealing meds. Dr. Langdon's making excuses. Come on, I'm not an addict. But this is a serious offense, and so Robby sends him home. Now they're down their two best doctors. Luckily, the shift's almost over. But just then, they get the news there's been a mass shooting at Pitt Fest. The Pit goes into triage mode, stabilizing patients crazy fast. It seems like absolute chaos, but everyone's trained for this, and they're doing an incredible job. Dr. Abbott from the night shift comes back in. Turns out he was an army medic and pulls out some crazy moves to save a police officer's life. Dr. Langdon comes back in too, which Robby does not approve. But he's like, look, you need me right now, so Dr. Robby lets him stay. Our student doctors are put in charge of minor injuries, but even injuries that seemed minor could be internal bleeding. They're already running low on blood, so Dr. King, who's O negative, donates some of her own to save this patient's life. Dr. Javati saves a life with a brilliant inventive move, which earns the respect of her mom and Nurse Mateo. With the senior doctors unavailable, Dr. Santos takes it upon herself to do a very dangerous procedure. Luckily, it works. Dr. Abbott's like, look, you definitely shouldn't have done that, but I mean, good job. But now, Dr. Robby's stepson Jake comes in. He's okay, but his girlfriend's real bad. Dr. Robby goes into beast mode, doing everything he can to save her. But it's just not enough, and Jake's girlfriend dies. This finally pushes him over the edge. Dr. Robby goes to the pediatric room for a full-on breakdown. He's only in there like 3 minutes, but 3 minutes is a long time in the middle of this emergency. It's Dr. Whitaker who finds him there and gets him back on his feet. Now, the teen from this morning comes back to pick up his mom and finds himself the suspected shooter. Luckily, he wasn't, but he and his mom have a talk like, you gotta talk to a therapist. Eventually, the patients stop coming in, and so it's time for this day shift to finally go home. There's some big events though right at the end. Dr. McKay is now under arrest. Her ankle monitor went off again right in the middle of the emergency, so she destroyed it to shut it up, which is very illegal. But she just saved a lot of lives tonight, so they let her off with a warning. Dr. Santos discovers that Whitaker is sleeping here in an abandoned part of the hospital, but Santos has a spare room, so she invites him to stay with her. Dr. Langdon talks to Robby, hey man, I know I messed up, can you give me a second chance? Dr. Robby's like, fine, but we're not just gonna sweep it under the rug, you're gonna have to admit to it and be on very thin ice for a long time. The season ends, as you might have guessed, with Dr. Robby up on the roof and Dr. Abbott coming to talk him down. They meet up with some of the other staff to have a beer, where they all admit that this job is really hard, but mostly we love it. Once you've been on the front lines saving lives, how can you do anything else? And that's where The Pitt Season 1 comes to an end. If you liked this recap, hit that subscribe button for more of the best recaps of TV and movies.